9 double standards that men face that women don't.
9. All right, let's go.
Women parent better. Men are just glorified babysitters.
This is a narrative that's created from our traditional gender roles. Men go out and work and women stay at home and raise the children. Hence, the assumption would be that women would be perceived to be the better parent because they're spending more time with the children, which isn't necessarily true. The complaint I hear from women is that men will often get praise for certain parental duties, whereas for women, they're just expected to do it. So maybe there just needs to be more recognition and praise and admiration for good parenting overall. Being a good parent isn't gender specific.
Woman wants her man to lead, it's a preference. If a man wants his woman to submit, he's misogynistic.
Where does this shit come from? I've gone my entire life dating women, not once have I ever thought I need her to submit to me. When you're at your job and you're part of a project team and there's a leader of the project team, do you submit to them? I mean, if this type of dynamic works for you, fine, go for it. But again, it's not a double standard. Objectively, yes, it could be perceived as the same thing from two different points of view. However, it's subjectively viewed different from two different types of people.
Female nurses are so nurturing. Male nurses, but you weren't smart enough to be a doctor?
Okay, if there are any male nurses out there, if anyone says this to you, feel free to use this old Australian proverb in response. Fuck off, you useless cunt.
Woman has a rotation, you go girl. If a man has one, he's a pig.
Sleeping around has no benefit to either men or women. I've seen no evidence to consider otherwise. Maybe some of them will say you go girl, but I'm sure way more will slut shame them.
If a woman commits a crime, she goes to prison, but he goes to prison for 63% longer.
Is this women's fault or is this fault of the legal system? Maybe women get lighter sentences because they're perceived as the weaker sex. Perhaps the more this is talked about, perhaps the more that'll change over time. But again, that's up to the legal system, which is full of men and women, to punish criminals fairly and accordingly.
He won't date under 6 feet, and he doesn't want to date overweight.
This isn't a double standard, they're just two different preferences. The reality of the world is the majority of men are not over 6 feet tall. A solution to this, how about we stop measuring men's heights by feet and inches and only centimeters? Would that change the perception of this desirable preference in women? If she has this desire for a man over 6 feet tall and she's not meeting men that meet the mark, well, guess what, fellas? That's not your problem.
What an asshole.
Oh, I appreciate the compliment.
Makeup is enhancing, but that beard is just covering up your lack of a chin.
Again, gentlemen, if anyone comments on your beard this way, may I redirect you back to that old Australian proverb earlier in the video?
Women set a boundary, you go queen. But a man, you're controlling.
But what is the context of the boundary we're setting? What I've seen recently on social media, men's boundaries just add up to men demanding women not do things. And I'd like to remind you, gentlemen, that if you're dating a woman and she says you can't hang out with your friends and can't go to certain places because there'll be women there, and labels them as her boundaries, that's not a boundary, that's controlling.
6 figures, 6 feet, and 6-pack abs. But she can have 6 bodies, 6 guys in her DMs, and be 60 pounds overweight.
Definitely have heard the male 666 before, 6 feet tall, 6-figure income, and 6-pack abs. I've never heard that women one before. We're all human beings, we're all unique individuals with our own preferences and values, and perhaps we just need to redirect ourselves and align ourselves with those who align with us.